Yeah, I mean, you teed it up. I think it was actually a nice way to sort of think about this. It's not just a confusing space. It's a difficult problem to solve. And I started tackling this problem. I got into this space in 2009. Back then we were dealing with very large Fortune 100 brands like the Home Depot or Citi, who were trying to understand, hey, previously I had nothing. How does paid media drive in-store sales across all these product categories? Or how does it drive how I acquire customers with checking accounts and things like that? The space has evolved, I think, in the last 15 years in a way that's great for consumers, right? And great for consumer brands because 10 or 15 years ago, you had a fashion company or a lifestyle brand or things like that. You had to spend all of your time paying for shelf space in a store. You had to cut a retail wholesale deal with Saks to get your clothes there. You had to subsidize Home Depot's marketing to get your products on their shelf, right? Something changed in the past 10 years. You could now sell to brands directly on the internet, and you kind of forget how much internet shopping behavior has really changed in the past 10 years. You could actually introduce yourself to brands via things like Facebook and Instagram and Google search and open web display and all these things that didn't exist anymore. And I think it created a boon for consumers and consumer brands because there was so much more opportunity to try out brands and things like that didn't exist before. But it also made things really confusing because you're serving all these ads, you're trying to track people across devices and sites and walled gardens and open web and all this sort of stuff. And you get all these very confusing signals driven by cookies and trying to understand what your marketing is doing. And it's the exact opposite of what you mentioned